Good morning and welcome.
Thank you. So I'm just so excited to be here. Gay Beauregard, you are so blessed to have one of the most loving individuals I've ever met as your leader. I've known Gay since 1986. We both started at the Science of Mind Church in El Cajon. And we're still doing this. Isn't that wonderful? Yeah. And even better, we get to talk about it and share all the wonderful things that have happened to us over the last 30 years. So this week, we are this whole month, we're doing the Open Your Mind to Prosperity. Now, who has this book? Oh, good, okay. So when you get into Science of Mind, and how many of you have taken classes, Science of Mind classes? So when you first get into Science of Mind and you read the textbook, it's like, oh my God, you need help. You need help to decipher, to understand the words. But Catherine Ponder takes religious science or Science of Mind and makes it easy. So this week, we talk about prosperity through the love concept. And so thank you, Leslie. The song today was absolutely perfect. To practice consistently the love concept is one of the quickest ways to overcome all your difficulties and demonstrate your spiritual heritage of unlimited good. Okay, that's it. That's all I have to say. But these words are only words until you have the experience. And so what I'd like to talk about today is things that have happened in my life and how I've seen them happen in others, and just to get an idea about what this really means in your life and how you can apply it. The great masters, including Jesus, always taught that love your neighbor, forgive your enemies, do unto others as you would have them do unto yourselves. But in your world, in your everyday life, sometimes people are kind of mean, or they do things that seem unforgivable. Or how can you love that person that's always irritating you or seems to always, be sticking a thorn in your side? Or just driving, or you're in the shopping center, somebody takes your shopping or your parking place. So what does that really mean? And there actually is a gift for you when you follow those concepts. Forgive your enemies, love one another, do unto others, because the truth is everything you do, you're really doing to yourself. It's a spiritual law that whatever you give out comes back to you multiplied. Anita Moorjani, in her book, Dying to Be Me, which is absolutely a wonderful story. So Anita Moorjani had cancer. She had this horrible cancer. And she's in the hospital, and she had these big growths all around her neck and all over her body. And her body shut down. So she made her transition, and she went to the other side. And she met some of her loved ones that had already passed over and other beings of light. And they told her that you have a choice. If you want, you can go to the other side. And she said it was so loving. We have no idea in these physical bodies how loved we are. Only until we go to the other side, we can really fully experience it. Or they said, you also have a choice. If you come back into your physical body, you can make a difference in the world. There is a teaching and a healing for you to share. So she thought, well, why would I want to go back into that body? It's so painful, and it's all riddled with cancer and disease. And she got that if she came back into her body, she had the ability to heal. So she chose to come back into her body. Within a week, the cancer disappeared. Her doctors came into her and said, we can't figure it out. We can't find any cancer. Something must be wrong. We can't understand it. The cancer had completely disappeared. And she went on and got out of the hospital, and now she's written these wonderful books. How she got started was she was writing a blog about her near-death experience, and Wayne Dyer, you know who Wayne Dyer is, he discovered her and told Hay House, you have to write her book. One of the things, though, if you read her book, she talks about what she experienced and what she understood when she was on the other side. It's religious science.
Yeah.
It's all religious science. It's everything that we believe and we teach. And when she came back, she realized that she no longer had the ability to judge anybody. Because when we're on the other side, we are not judged. Our love produces an energy. There's a wonderful organization called Heart Math. And in this organization, they have done all kinds of studies with love and what our hearts do and the energy around it. And they have actually scientifically proven that when a loving person enters a room, it shifts the entire room. And think about it. I'm sure when you come here, don't you feel really good and loved? And you come in and maybe you just got fired from your job, and you tell somebody, I just got fired, and they go, oh, wonderful. Something new and wonderful is going to happen for you. And you are uplifted. You are uplifted and supported. So your heart energy makes a difference with the people around you. Sometimes you may have to, really keep it up. There may be some hardcore people, but I can guarantee you that your loving energy will make a difference. So it not only affects people, but it also affects plants. There's this wonderful book called The Secret Life of Plants. And in it, this man that wrote the book, he had a lie detector machine. And he had a plant sitting there on his desk, and he thought, I wonder what'll happen if I hook up the machine to this plant. So he hooked up the plant to the machine, the lie detector machine. And then he thought, I wonder what'll happen if I put a leaf in my coffee. The plant went nuts. So he did all kinds of tests and everything, and he discovered, and I actually saw this in person. One of my friends took a healing energy class, and she had 3 African violets. And every morning, over 2 of them, she'd do loving healing energy, and loving healing energy, and then the other one she just ignored. So, as you can guess, the 2 that she had done the loving healing energy were just radiant. Just so, 3 times bigger, and the poor little one, which I hope that eventually she gave it some love, was all like this. I mean, you could actually really see the difference. It isn't just about people or plants. It also affects what we call inanimate objects. In the hidden messages in water, Dr. Emoto took photographs of water. And so somebody that was very angry would focus on this water, and he took a picture, and it just looked really ugly and upset and just, very angry. And then he took photographs of somebody that focused love. And the focus of love on these water crystals, or these water cells, were just beautiful, beautiful works of art, like snowflakes. So even our love affects not only the people, but also the plants, the environment, water, our pure water. I think the weather, earthquakes, and I'll show you later on. I actually have a scientific experiment that they did on that. So when you're in the love mode, you can draw good to you. That probably is all you'd ever have to do. You wouldn't have to do treatment or anything, because when you automatically demonstrate at a very high level when you are in that positive love mode. But we all have our triggers, and we all are people, and so I've never known anybody, no matter how evolved they are, be able to, in this physical world, be consistently in that mode. So my trigger is driving. I don't know what it is. It's like I have this, this sweet little Rebecca, and then I have this little evil twin that when I drive is like all of a sudden I turn into, or I've been working on it, but I can turn into this person that starts directing traffic and, judging people and, saying that person shouldn't do this. And before you know it, I was having all these people cut me off, and they wouldn't even put their turn signal on. Cutting me off and with no turn signal. So I started noticing how many people in San Diego will cut you off without a turn signal. And of course it was happening all the time because every time I got in the car, I would start thinking about that. And then it kind of evolved to, I'm driving on the freeway, that person isn't using their turn signal. And that person over there, and look at that person. And I was almost ready to go catch that person and say, don't you know what a turn signal is for? And it was like I was getting so upset that I had to have a little talk with myself. And I said, well, you teach this stuff, right? I'm teaching the love concept. I'm teaching that whatever you give out comes back to you multiplied. And so I need to walk my talk. So I started getting in the car, and whenever somebody did their turn signal, I go, oh, you nice person, bless you. And if somebody cut me off without turning on their signal, I would just go, okay, I'm just going to slow down a little bit and graciously let you in. And I started doing that, and before long, it was like I was just in this wonderful space whenever I drive. People, I'm sure they would still cut me off, but I didn't notice it. I just was in this totally different mode. And then also at work, where I work, we have this corner that has a stoplight at it, and I would walk across the street to bring the mail every day, and I hated crossing this corner. The traffic was horrible. I mean, once a month we have an accident, and everybody gets out at the same time, so people are really mean. They honk at each other, and they won't let each other in. But I was practicing loving kindness and love around with cars and driving. So I was waiting to cross the street, and I heard this man say, "Excuse me, ma'am." And I looked over, and it was this beautiful young black man with dreads out. And he said, "You look lovely today." And he smiled at me and took off. And I did. I had a really cute outfit. But it was just like the universe, the universe was saying, acknowledging me for my consciousness, my love consciousness. It does make a difference. And when you are in that loving consciousness, the universe will start bringing good things to you. And Eric Butterworth calls it walking under the cloud of the Almighty. And what that means is that when you walk under the cloud of the Almighty, dishonest people are honest with you, things work, good things come to you automatically without you even having to ask, because that is the promise, that the good Father knows your desire before you even ask. So I'm a cyclist. I like to ride my bicycle, and I have a really good road bike, so I went for this ride down to Mission Bay. I rode up from my home all the way to Mission Bay, which was about 10 miles, and I got a flat. So I couldn't walk home. It was too far, and I could have tried to change it myself, which I have changed flat tires on my bike before, but I have to get the U-tube out, and and I don't know really how to do it. It takes a very long time. I thought, well, I could do Uber, or I could just stand here and see if somebody would help me. So about that time, I saw this cyclist, this man, riding up. I thought, I think I'll just look kind of helpless here, and maybe he'll help me.
Yeah, that card. Oh, I know that card.
So he rides up. It's my friend. Do you know what it took for the universe to synchronize that? I mean, 1 in a million. That this man that I know just happened, of all the places in Mission Bay, he just happened to be riding right past me. So he goes, sure, I'll change it. He did it in about 10 minutes. And you know what he said? He goes, this is good karma for me, too. So, the payback, he understood the flow.
Yeah.
So it was just like, how did these things happen? I mean, how is this possible? It was just like I was kept saying, thank you, God, for this. I think the weirdest thing that ever happened to me is I have a fob on when I got my new car, the sales agent came in and he told me the fob. He goes, now you have to really hang on to this. He said, it's very expensive. I think they're $800 or $900 to get them replaced. So whatever you do, don't lose it. So, that's in the back of my mind and everything. So I was using a public restroom, and I started to put my hand over, and I dropped my keys over the toilet bowl.
Oh. You didn't lose it.
The metal keys fell off the keychain and went in the toilet. The fob was knocked clear across the room,
Yay.
off a key ring. I mean, how does that happen? How does that happen? I was so attached to not losing that fob that the universe did this wonderful thing. It knocked it clear across the room. And I was all by myself, so I couldn't really, I didn't have any pictures or anything, but how does that happen?
It was your dreadlock angel.
It was it was. Now, usually I'm pretty, I look for the good in things. That's pretty much my nature. Thank goodness for it that I was kind of born this way, but also religious science. I've really had to learn it and to practice it and to be in that mode. And one time, my family has a really good story about me. We were river rafting up in Lake Tahoe. And so we were going down the river, and we were all on these big rafts. And so we went ahead. Some of us were further ahead than some of our friends. So we pulled up to this dock, and it was right in the back of somebody's home, this man's home. So we were holding on to the dock waiting for our people. And this man came out, and he said, can I help you? And I said, we're just waiting for our friends. I said, you have such a beautiful home, and thank you so much for offering to help. And so he looked at me and turned around and he kind of stomped back in. I'm just oblivious. And my daughter said, Mom, he was kind of being a jerk. I had no clue. I mean, I really had no clue that he was angry and upset, but in my little bubble, in my world that I created, people are loving and kind. I mean, what difference does it make? Really? My daughter says, Mom, you never even know when somebody has malicious intent. But how can it affect me if I am in that frame? So you know what your purpose is in life? To love, to express love. That is your purpose. Loving people is like like yeast in the dough. That it's the silently creating more love in the world. The more you love, the more that love goes out. And we are actually set up to be that way, to be loving and kind and take care of each other. That's our natural state of being. There are 3 things that will create a natural high. One of them is meditation. The other is exercise like running. The third one is doing something for somebody else that makes them happy. Think about that. When you do something that's really kind and that person gets really happy, how does that make you feel? You've all heard about the random acts of kindness, where you go and you just do something kind. You may pay, give somebody your change that doesn't have enough money to buy something, or maybe you open the door and hold a door open so somebody can get through it when they have a whole bunch of boxes. And I'm talking about a woman holding a door for a man or something, or doing some kind of random act for kindness. The best thing you can do is to do a random act of kindness and then not tell anybody about it. Because when you do that, you get to keep all those feelings for yourself. That's one of the best things you can do for your own well-being, for how you feel about yourself. You get to keep all that energy and feelings for yourself. But what about, so are any of you kind of upset with the politics and the shootings and all the things that are going on in the world? There is something that you can do, and that is to know love and see love in that situation. The more you can stay away, it's the way the media is set up, it's set up to make us angry and to be judgmental and to be fearful and to be angry and divide us. That's what it does. But instead of what I do whenever I happen to watch the news, I know that that's a signal for me to just know love is in that situation. And love and positive energy is 1,000 times more powerful than any negative. Highest consciousness wins. Highest consciousness, highest vibration, the most loving person wins. And I say that in a very humility, and it has to have pure intentions. And I know that all of you have that going on in your lives. I can see it in your faces and feel the love that is here. There is a wonderful book. Have any of you ever heard of The Golden Key by Emmett Fox? Oh, okay. So it's this wonderful little booklet. It's kind of a really short reading. And I used to buy like 5 of them, and then whenever I knew anybody that had a problem, I could give it to them, because it really encompasses all kinds, everybody's, any kind of religion. It's very open. And he starts it out with, there is a solution to any problem you have. All you have to do is see God in that situation. See love in that situation. And and then release it and let the love and the God take care of it and see the miracle. They've had plenty of experiments about what meditation and love can do, over the time. This one that I read about in the early 80s, at the height of the Lebanese War, they were trying to see whether meditation could actually reduce war. So 1,000 people in Jerusalem meditated on world peace. Within that same period, that week, war, deaths in Lebanon went down by over 75%. Not only did war deaths go down, but crime, traffic collisions, fires, other destructive events also went down on the days the group meditated. So you can make a difference. And then what about when somebody does something really awful to you? Steals some money, or steals something from you, or betrays you, or stabs you in the back, or does something to somebody that you love. I think probably the absolutely best thing I've ever seen is Marianne Williamson's it's on Oprah, and it's all about divine, I can't think of what the name of it. Anyway, it's all about, what she says is that You can never lose anything, because if anything is yours by divine right, no one and nothing can ever take you away. That's a spiritual law. So what happens, say somebody steals $10,000 for you. This $10,000 goes into trust with Spirit and waits until your heart is ready to receive it. If you look up on Oprah and Marianne Williamson, you can see it on the internet. It's absolutely wonderful. So, I turned 70 this year. And what I decided was that, okay, I only have like 30 or 40 years left, right? 30 or 40, I don't know. It could happen, So what am I going to do? I mean, at 70, it's time. When am I going to really do it? I decided I'm going to live my life fearlessly. I'm going to make the jump. Why am I holding back? I mean, the worst thing you can do is die. I mean, that's absolutely, I don't think that really is that awful of a thing to happen. But, so I decided to do the fire walk this year. So I know this group of people, and they're very loving, and the leader of it is very humble. And he said he gets everybody all psyched up, and we ask the universe and Mother Earth for help. And so it's a really great group of people, and I got my best friend, Candace, that some of you know here, to go with me. So we're in New Mexico, and it's on New Year's Eve, to start the new year off right. And so he's burning these hot coals, and I looked at it, and it's about this big. That's where they were burning the coals. They have to burn them before they get soft enough that you can actually walk on them. And I thought, well, that isn't too bad. I think I could probably make it across that. So when we get ready to walk, no. He throws out the coals. They were as far as the door. And I'm thinking, why, what was I thinking getting into this? Walking on these hot coals. I look over at my friend Candace, and she was so geared up, and I'm all going, oh my God, what if I go back home and I'm hobbling around, bragging that I'm going to be walking on hot coals, and here I am, hobbling, and my feet are all burnt and everything. So I go, okay. So what we do is we just we were outside, so we looked at the stars, and we just asked for help. And I saw other people doing it. And that's one of the important things about coming here and being with like-minded people. Bruce Lipton, who wrote Biology of Belief, went to an aura class, and when he was with a group of people that could see auras, he could see auras. But when he wasn't with them, he couldn't. So when you're with like-minded people, this is the time to do your energy work, your treatment work, your belief work, take classes, be around them, make friends with them. That really helps you. So anyway, back to the fire walk. So I saw other people doing it, and I go, okay. So I just looked at the stars, and I claimed my truth, and I ran. Some people were walking, but no way. I wanted to get it over with. And I did it. I actually did it, these hot burning coals. We are so capable of so many things. We have limited potential. One of my boyfriend, that I'm going to brag about a little bit, has done 68 200-mile bike rides. 200-mile bike rides. That's from Oceanside to Brago and back. He did his first one when he was 70. And I'm so proud of these guys. They're like 60s and 70s. I think the oldest guy is like 84. And when they were getting their awards for like 50 or 100, they all had a story. First of all, I see them, they get really psyched up. They're with their friends, like-minded friends, that they know that they can do it, that it's possible. They encourage each other, they wait for each other, they support with each other. And some of them, some of these people do not look like athletes. I'm serious. And this one young woman, she's 50 now, she's done 100 of them, has asthma. This other woman, she's in her 60s, and when she tells her story, she was very sick and would throw up, but she kept doing it. Finally, after about 10 times, she finally did the 200-mile bike ride. So I'm kind of running out of time. Would you guys like to have a little closing meditation, guided meditation?
Yes.
Okay. So this will show you what you can do in the world. If you're unhappy, if you're upset, if you are feeling like, oh my God, the world is falling apart, this is what you can do. So this is a crystal bowl. It's in the C. It's the note C, which is, no, F, I'm sorry. F, and it's the heart energy. This will vibrate your heart. So I'm going to start it with this vibration. So all of you get with your feet on the floor and comfortable for a minute. We're just going to do a little brief guided meditation. I am perfect love, and I see that perfect love in every person I meet, and they respond with love. There is so much love within me that it now permeates my very being and flows through me out into the world, blessing, touching, and healing. There is so much love within my heart that it now wells up and covers the entire room. This love keeps ever expanding and welling up. It now covers all of Alpine, all of San Diego, all of the United States, there is so much love within my heart. It now covers the entire world. If there is any person, place, or thing on the planet that needs my love, they accept it now. All minds are one. As I go through the week, I bestow love and loveliness on everyone and everything. I see only the love in every situation. I know only love in every situation. I am love in action. My work, my creation, my life is love made visible. And so it is. Okay, so you can bring your attention back to the room. Thank you.